Hi, welcome to 151 Garage. I'm Sean. Diesel is laying down right here joining us, and today we're going to work on Susan. So the last couple episodes we worked on the steering box, getting that all set up, welded, fabricated the bracket and everything like that. What we need to do now, before I get the steering placement, the steering wheel placement and steering column, is actually set up my seating position. Now for this is going to be a little bit different because it's not going to be an adjustable seat for the most part. I will be able to adjust it, but it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be something I'll do like on a whim. And I'll explain here in a second. So first of all, that's my seat. If you all don't know what this is an old cast iron tractor seat from a Champion tractor, I believe. Says Champion right there, so I'm assuming that's what it's from. So this is actually going to be the seat for the driver and passenger. It may look uncomfortable, but it's surprisingly comfortable seat. It's absolutely one of the most comfortable hard surface seats, if that makes any sense. So any kind of stool or anything like that, this beats it hands down. And even some of the regular cushion seats, this thing beats. So with that being said, that's the seat. That is going to be the suspension for the seat. So this is not going to be hard mounted straight to the base of the truck. It's actually going to be sitting on a spring surface, I guess you could call, kind of like a cantilever type seat. So what we're going to end up doing is building a bracket for this side that actually mounts to the frame. There's a cross member that goes right about here where the transmission is, and that's where it's going to mount to. It's going to mount across that. Then I'm going to have basically a piece that's underneath that, and then the seat will be here with some kind of spring to it. So the first and foremost, I need to make the bracket, which is what we're going to do in this video. Lately it has been raining, so I don't know if I'll be able to push the car out and actually grind and cut and stuff like that on the car itself. We'll see. It is Florida. It is the winter time, I guess, fall, winter, so it's raining all the time. It literally rains every day. But we'll go ahead and cut to making the bracket. We'll go ahead and go through that, and I'll show you what I came up with, ideas I've had, and we'll go from there. And we'll see if we can get to the next part of welding it into the car. If not, that will probably be in a later video. Again, we'll go ahead and cut to the next part. Okay, so the last part of the video, I had cut these. What you didn't see is I ended up welding a threaded insert in the center of it. Basically what that's going to be for is for the bolt to hold the bracket. Now this is going to be welded to the cross member that goes underneath the transmission. It's perfect in line with where I want this. This right here is the bracket setup. So I'm going to have the center bracket, or the bottom bracket. It does have a marking. I have not drilled the holes yet. Right there. And then I have these. These are center marked already where I'm going to need to drill. They're also marked where I want to round them off, because these will be next to your leg, and the last thing you want to do is catch one of these edges on your leg or ankle or clothing or whatever and get caught and possibly get injured. So those will be welded in like such. Now what that's going to do is that's going to give me the opportunity to get this over here, weld this together, and then this hole will line up with that dot, or the hole that I will be drilling in there, and that's where the bolt's going to be mounted through. So on to the next step is basically cutting and grinding all these plates out, and hopefully I'll do that tomorrow if it's not too dark when I get home and it's not downpour. So I do live in Florida. I got to deal with the weather. It's always raining right now, so I will cut to that and I'll come back after that's all done and I'll show you.
So just a quick update of what I did with this one. So I still have to smooth them off a little bit. I'll do that after I weld and everything like that. But what I did is they were off just a little bit. One was higher, both on the bottom and the top. And what I ended up doing is taking both these off, taping them together with the holes that line up right here on both of them exactly the same, and then shaped, basically just ground all this down and cut the bottom off so they're exactly the same. Now, as you can see, the bolt goes just barely through, just like one thread sticking out. What I ended up doing is grinding the basically the metal spacer that goes into here for leaf springs. I ground that down because the bolt was either a 3.5 inch, or sorry, either a 4 inch or a 5 inch. There was nothing in between. After 3.5 inches, it went to 4, then it went to 5, and went to 6. So I couldn't get a 4.5 inch bolt. I would have to done a 5 and it would have stuck out way too much. Again, I want to make sure that there's nothing that's going to cut your leg, like a bolt that sticks out way too far. But when I did that, the bottom was a little bit too long. So I took the whole thing out here, clamped it together, and cut the end of one side off. So right now, you know, it slides around a little bit right now. It fits perfectly. Everything's ready. All I got to do is grind it down and tack weld it all together and see how it works. Now this is exactly how it's going to set up this high up, because I still need to put a lock nut in there, and we'll go from there. Okay, on to the next step.
Okay, after the welding and the grinding, it looks pretty good from the outside. Bottom's nice and flush. This is nice. Inside has a little bit of work to do. I just didn't want to break out the little Dremel to Dremel out some of this stuff. It is getting fairly late and I don't want to piss off the neighbors too much yet. This right here, I also put a couple welds in that filled some of the spots that were in there. It is extremely hot right now, so you can see it looks a little bit better. There are some spots, but again, it's mainly being covered up by this anyway, so I'm not real worried about it. When I get everything together, I will take a couple videos, show you, and I'll probably end the video after that. Once this thing cools down, it is extremely hot. And then the next video, I think I'm gonna start actually installing this with the seat and getting everything else set up for actually being able to use it. So right now, I think it's kind of the end. I will show a montage of how it's gonna look once I get the pencil grind or get the grinder out tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Okay, thank you. I went ahead and ground this down on the inside a little bit more, painted it black, and it actually turned out fairly well. Now I will do a little bit better in here. Just I do not have the pencil grinder bits that I need for this area. I'll get some better ones, and before I actually have it powder coated and final assembly and everything like that, I will touch up all the areas here to make it nice and smooth and look way better than it does right now. So like I said in the video in the beginning, it is Florida and it does rain literally every day. So I haven't been able to push this outside. I have done other things to this to be able to do inside, and we'll cut to those in the next videos, and then we'll, as soon as it stops raining for a day or two, that I can actually push this outside and actually cut the hole, clean up the area where I have to weld this tube. I will do that, but until then I gotta pick up other things, do other parts of the car that I can actually do inside here or inside the shed out back. Again, it's not as easy as it looks just pushing this out and then pushing it back in, because literally it rains constantly lately. So we'll go ahead and shut down the video right now, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you, hi Diesel. Hope you enjoy the video. I hope you come back again, and Diesel hopes you do too. So, hi Diesel. Okay, thank you and see you next video.